we're getting a lot of questions these days from clients that simply ask, maybe Shakespeare would have said to TLD or not to TLD. That seems to be one of the big questions. I think the reason it's getting a lot of attention these days is because it's confusing. This is a big new change for our clients and for the industry. And guess what? It hasn't been done before, other than in the limited cases where, the .orgs, the .mobis, the .infos that have rolled out. It's never been done before by individual brands and individual customers or individual communities. And so this is something, it's new territory. And as a result, whenever new things are introduced, there is always fear and apprehension and cynicism. I saw today a really great article in Newsweek from 1995 where people were very skeptical about the Internet and the implications of the Internet. And at the time, if you are out there trying to convince a company to put up a website in 1995, the answer would probably be, well, we have a telephone number and we have a brochure and we have a sales force. Why would we need this? And this is even more complicated scenario than that, because the level of complexity, the financial requirements, and your obligations in establishing a TLD are significant. And as a result, though there has been transparency in the debate facilitated through ICANN, there is plenty of good reason to be critical of what's going on. But what we're seeing is that most people focus on the tactics and the kind of the critical nature of, well, what about this and what about that, and why is it only open for this period of time and that period of time? And there's a great quote I was just reminded of as I was, kind of reminiscing on Steve Jobs and his tragic passing, where just to make sure I'm getting it right, Steve Jobs said, you have to start with the customer experience first and then work back to the technology, and not the other way around. And so what we're seeing is there are very few people out there that are talking about what is being enabled here. What does this new world potentially look like? And where they're winding up is looking at it from tactical, should I apply or not apply? It's probably only going to make sense for a very specific set of companies to apply. But the only way to determine whether you're one of those companies is to think about the customer experience that you're enabling, not the trademark you're protecting. We see a lot of people out there thinking about the value they're protecting instead of the value they're creating. And, innovations enable value creation for those that are willing to take the risk. There will be failure along the way as well, but in the end, it's a question for us of, are you going to approach this with a sense of optimism to explore what could be enabled, or are you going to basically say, no, we're going to look at this defensively?